Welcome to the threshold of a new reality. Have you ever felt like you were being prepared for a moment that felt both terrifying and inevitable? That feeling in your chest, that quiet, persistent knowing that the world as you've known it is about to dissolve, is not your imagination. It is your confirmation. Today we are standing at the edge of a massive spiritual deadline. Tomorrow, the cycle of waiting, the cycle of hidden preparation, and the cycle of being misunderstood finally comes to an end. Because of the frequency you have reached and the internal work you have completed. In this video, we are going to dive deep into what this transition means for you, why the old doors are locking behind you, and how your specific actions have triggered this global shift. You are going to learn exactly how to navigate the next 24 hours and beyond, as we break down the 10 signs that your mission is entering its final, most powerful stage. Welcome to the end of the beginning. You have earned this moment. Let's get started. The waiting room was never meant to be a permanent residence, but a sacred isolation designed to strip away the noise of the world, so you could finally hear your own frequency. For years you have felt suspended in time, watching others move forward while you remained in a state of forced stillness, yet this stagnation was actually a deep-rooted incubation process. Tomorrow marks the moment the walls of this sanctuary crumble because you have successfully integrated the lessons that required total solitude. The energy that kept you stuck is now being converted into the momentum needed to launch you into your next phase, signaling that the universe has no more reason to keep you hidden. You have outgrown the confines of your quiet life, and the expiration of this period is the natural result of your internal expansion. This final transition is not happening by chance. It is the direct consequence of your refusal to settle for a life that didn't align with your soul's blueprint. You have endured the silence and the loneliness without breaking, proving that you are ready to handle the weight of the influence that is coming your way. As the clock ticks toward this conclusion, you must realize that the safety of the shadows is being revoked to make room for the intensity of the light you are meant to carry. The waiting was a test of patience, and by passing it, you have effectively deactivated the cosmic pause button on your life. There is nothing left to learn in the stillness, which is why the atmosphere around you is shifting so violently to push you out of the nest and into your true purpose. The debts of your bloodline and the heavy burdens of your past incarnations have finally been balanced through your conscious endurance and unwavering integrity. You have spent lifetimes and years paying for mistakes you didn't even commit, acting as the spiritual janitor for a family tree that refused to do its own healing. Because you chose to face the shadows rather than run from them, the ledger has been wiped clean and the universe no longer sees a deficit in your energetic account. This closure is the reason why the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable are suddenly evaporating before your eyes. You are no longer tied to the cycles of struggle that defined your ancestors because you have successfully broken the chains through sheer spiritual willpower. By choosing the path of most resistance, you have accelerated your evolution and satisfied the requirements of the cosmic law of cause and effect. The end that is coming tomorrow is the end of your obligation to the old world and the heavy karmic ties that kept you anchored to lower vibrations. You have transformed your pain into a form of spiritual currency, and you are now stepping into a phase of massive surplus where the universe begins to pay you back for every tear shed in secret. The era of being the sacrificial lamb is over, and the era of the sovereign creator begins because your debt is paid in full. This liberation is your reward for staying true to your light when everything around you was trying to pull you into the darkness. As this karmic cycle closes, you will notice a sudden disappearance of the people and situations that used to trigger your deepest insecurity. This is because their role in your life was purely educational, and since you have mastered the lesson, their presence is no longer required by the laws of growth. You have effectively graduated from a school of hard knocks that many never leave, and your diploma is the freedom you will feel starting tomorrow. The heavy air is lifting, and the feeling of waiting for the other shoe to drop is being replaced by a grounded sense of peace. You have done the work. You have survived the fire, and now you are standing on the other side of the flames, completely refined and legally free in the eyes of the universe. The moment of the great divide has arrived, where the frequency you carry creates a natural chasm between you and those who refuse to evolve. For a long time, you tried to bridge the gap between your world and theirs, but the energy of tomorrow no longer supports these mismatched connections. This is a physical and spiritual divergence where timelines are splitting permanently, ensuring that you are no longer weighed down by the density of others' choices. You are moving into a reality where your environment finally reflects your internal state, leaving behind the friction of the old world. This separation is a protective act of the universe, placing you in a sanctuary of high vibration where the lower parasitic energies can no longer reach you. As you step into this new timeline, the invisible threads that once bound you to the drama of others are being severed. You will notice that certain people simply fade away, not out of malice, but because their resonance is no longer compatible with the path you are walking. This is the ultimate liberation, as you are finally freed from the responsibility of carrying those who do not wish to heal. The split is clean and absolute, marking the end of the era where you had to dim your light to keep others comfortable. You are now entering a stream of existence that is governed by synchronicity and flow, far removed from the chaos of the collective struggle. Your silence during the darkest hours of your journey was not a sign of weakness, but the gathering of immense spiritual power. While others were loud in their projections and ego, you were quiet, refining your energy and building a reservoir of inner strength that is now ready to explode into the physical realm. That silence allowed you to observe the patterns of the matrix without becoming entangled in them, giving you the upper hand in the shift that occurs tomorrow. By not reacting to the provocations of the world, you retained your sovereignty and kept your plans hidden from those who would have tried to sabotage your growth. This strategic withdrawal has made you untouchable, as the world cannot fight what it does not understand. The energy you saved by remaining silent is the fuel that will power your transformation as the old structures fall. Because you didn't waste your words on those who weren't ready to listen. You kept your manifestations pure and focused. This internal alchemy has turned your quiet endurance into a magnetic force that is now drawing your new life toward you with incredible speed. Tomorrow the world will see the results of the work you did in the shadows, and they will be baffled by how you moved so far ahead without making a sound. Your silence was a shield that protected your seeds while they were germinating. And now that they are ready to bloom, the power of your presence will speak louder than any words ever could. This transition marks the final victory of the observer over the participant. By choosing to stay silent and centered, you proved that you could master your emotions and your energy, which are the primary requirements for the high-level assignment you are about to receive. The noise of the world is fading out, and the clarity of your own soul is becoming the dominant frequency in your life. You have mastered the art of being in the world, but not of it. And this detachment is exactly what allows you to transition into the next timeline while others remain stuck in the loop. The end is simply the moment your private preparation meets its public purpose, and you are more than ready for the unveiling. The version of yourself that was forged in the fires of survival is officially being laid to rest because its mission is complete. You have spent years wearing armor that was necessary to protect your soul from a hostile environment, but that armor has now become too heavy for the destination you are heading toward. This death of the old identity is not a loss, but a radical shedding of skin that allows your true, unburdened essence to finally breathe. The trauma-bound self, the one that expected disappointment and stayed in a constant state of hypervigilance, has no place in the timeline starting tomorrow. You are being stripped of your old labels so that you can redefine yourself through the lens of power rather than the lens of recovery. As this old identity dissolves, you will find that your past no longer has the emotional grip on you that it once did. The stories you told yourself about who you were, based on your suffering, are being erased to make room for a new narrative of victory. You are stepping out of the role of the victim and the survivor and into the role of the architect. This process can feel disorienting, as if you are losing your footing, but it is actually the sensation of your feet firmly touching solid ground after years of treading water. Tomorrow you wake up as someone who is no longer defined by what happened to them, but by what they are choosing to create in the present moment. The seeds you planted in the dark, during those nights when you were crying and praying for a way out, are finally breaking through the surface of the soil. For a long time it felt like your efforts were disappearing into a void, as if the universe was ignoring your hard work and your sacrifices. However, nature requires a period of gestation, and that period is ending tonight. The tomorrow you have been waiting for is the beginning of the harvest season, where the invisible energy you invested into your character, your skills, and your spiritual health manifests as tangible physical abundance. You are about to see the evidence of your faith in ways that will leave no room for doubt. This harvest is not just about material gain, but about the manifestation of the respect, peace, and opportunities that were previously withheld from you. Every time you chose integrity over a shortcut, you are adding to a cosmic savings account that is now being released to you with interest. You will find that doors which were once bolted shut are now swinging open effortlessly, and the people who are meant to support your mission are appearing as if by magic. This is the law of the harvest in action. You are reaping exactly what you sowed during your most difficult trials. The time of planting in tears is over, and the time of reaping in joy has officially arrived. The transition from the hidden phase to the harvest phase requires a complete shift in your mindset. You can no longer operate from a place of lack or fear of not having enough, because the harvest coming your way is designed to be overflowing. You have proven that you can handle the responsibility of growth, and now the universe is trusting you with the fruits of your labor. As you witness these breakthroughs occurring one after another, remember that they are not accidents or coincidences. They are the direct result of the frequency you maintained when you had nothing. Your harvest is here because you finally became the person capable of sustaining it. As you approach the final gates of this transition, you will encounter the ultimate test of your discernment, designed to see if you can be lured back into the chaos you just outgrew. These distractions often arrive disguised as old flames, new opportunities that feel suspiciously like old traps, or sudden crises from people who refuse to evolve with you. The universe is checking to see if you still vibrate at the frequency of your past, or if you have truly mastered the art of saying no to what no longer serves your soul. By recognizing these tests for what they are, empty echoes of a dying timeline, you lock in your progress and prove that you are ready for the high-level reality that awaits you tomorrow. Your ability to see through the illusion is now your most sharp and vital tool. In these final hours, the Matrix may attempt to project images of fear or doubt to see if you will falter and retreat into your old survival mechanisms. Discernment means understanding that not every door that opens is an invitation, and not every voice that calls your name deserves an answer. You are being asked to trust your intuition over your eyes, moving with a calculated precision that ignores the noise of the external world. When you pass this final gate by choosing peace over engagement, you signal to the divine that you are a master of your own energy, fully prepared to govern the new life you have built. The chameleon phase of your journey, where you had to blend into environments that felt suffocating just to survive, has officially reached its expiration date. For too long you have played small, muted your colors, and adjusted your frequency to avoid triggering the insecurities of those around you. This masking was a necessary survival tactic. While you were still vulnerable, but the energy of tomorrow demands total authenticity. You can no longer hide your brilliance or pretend to be less than what you are to make others feel comfortable. The pressure to conform is disappearing because your soul has become too expansive to fit into the narrow boxes the world tried to place you in. Stepping out of the shadows means accepting that you will be a polarizing figure to those who are still asleep. As you drop the disguise, you will find that your presence alone acts as a mirror, reflecting back to others the work they have refused to do. While this may cause some to retreat or react in fear, it will simultaneously act as a beacon for your true tribe. You are no longer required to explain yourself, justify your light, or apologize for your success. The era of the hidden chosen one is over, and the era of the visible leader has begun, requiring you to stand tall in your truth without seeking permission from anyone to exist in your full power. This shift into radical visibility is the final requirement for the new assignment you are about to receive. You cannot lead from behind a mask, and you cannot fulfill your purpose if you are still trying to please a crowd that was never meant to follow you. By shedding the chameleon skin, you are making a public declaration to the universe that you are ready to be seen and utilized for your unique gifts. The friction you felt in the past was simply the result of trying to fit a divine shape into a mundane mold. Now that you have broken that mold, you are free to radiate your true frequency, attracting a life that is perfectly aligned with the masterpiece you have become. As we close this chapter today, remember that the transition you are feeling is the universe's way of acknowledging your growth. You have survived the isolation, passed the tests of discernment, and paid the karmic debts of generations. Tomorrow is not just another day. It is the first day of a reality where you no longer have to fight for your place because you have finally claimed your power. You were chosen for this specific time and this specific shift, and the world is now ready to receive the version of you that you've worked so hard to build in the dark. I want to hear from you now. How does this shift feel in your soul? What are you finally leaving behind as you step into this new timeline? To show that you've made it to the end of this message and to help this frequency reach more people who need to hear it, comment the word endless below. By typing it, you are claiming the endless abundance and the new beginning that starts now. I will leave you with this thought. The stars do not struggle to shine, and neither shall you. Your light is not a choice, it is your nature. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on the other side of the shift. Powered by Gemini Exporter. Drives www.aichatexporter.com